Alright guys, the official details for AGL Trunks' EZA are here. You can let me know what you think of them down in the comments. Is it a dub or is it an L? Let me know. I did recently pick this guy up with red coins just so we can cover him when content does drop. So I'm hoping he is good. So he is starting with key +2, 150 attack and defense. Does have a 50% chance to crit. Launches an additional attack, there's a 50% chance to become a super attack, then a 70% chance of launching an additional attack, there's a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. I would have preferred if that was just a guaranteed additional with a 50 or 70% chance to become a super attack, rather than a chance of an additional with another chance of it being a super, but here we are. Changes key spheres, Fizz to AGL, and has a 50% chance to dodge. Then when attacking, he does gain 150 attack and defense, then for every attack performed, chance to evade enemy's attack by 5% within the turn, which actually isn't too bad when you consider the fact this is for every attack performed, so even this still counts. So if this procs and he just does a normal, or if this procs and he does a normal, it still counts. So off of this one alone, already you're going to go up to 55%, which is okay. If this one procs, you go up to 60. I still wish this would have been guaranteed additional chance to be a super, because number one, it helps the SAFX. Number two, helps with damage output. And number three, for the trifecta, it guarantees him an extra 5%. Even at that point, he's only going to be on 60% chance to dodge. And then not only that as well, we're currently within a meta where there isn't every enemy that disables dodge and AoEs, but there are quite a few enemies who disable dodge, and there are AoEs. You know, I'm pretty sure one of the Gohan, Trunks, and Goten fights disables dodge, Broly disables dodge, and I think Tamagami 1, yeah, because we done him the other day, he also disables dodge. Tamagami 1 also has AoEs, which don't really do that much damage, but I'm not currently seeing anything else that's going to help him against those AoEs. So Tamagami 1 AoEs. Who else AoEs? Does Broly AoE? I can't remember. I think he AoEs at some part during his fight, not the most difficult part, but there's also AoEs. Rose locks, or Zamasu locks and Rose and Zamasu AoE. So there's kind of a lot of things going against this Trunks right now, but this is only him in base. Maybe when he goes into Super Saiyan, it's a lot better, but just having dodge and not loads of it, with nothing else to rely on, it's not looking good, or at least in base, it's not looking good. Then for every super attack performed, he does get a chance to dodge by 5% again, so when you consider the first initial attack he's going to do, that's another 5% twice, so that's 10%. You have a chance of getting 10% here as well, or guaranteed 5. He can build up a decent amount of dodge, but again, there's a lot of dodge cancelling, there's AoEs, and he has to attack and super attack first before he gets any of this build up. So that means at the start of turn where you can dodge, he's only going to have 50 in whatever he has in the potential system as well, and that's if you give him dodge. And then if they're dodge cancelling fights, well, you're probably not going to bring him at this point. Every time the character performs 3 attacks in battle, he launches an additional attack. There's a 70% chance of becoming a super attack up to once within a turn. Why are we giving this Trunks so much chance? Why does this Trunks have so much RNG? I feel like after performing 3 attacks in battle, this one should have been guaranteed. Like, we've already got chances of an additional, super, and a second chance of an additional super once already in his passive. Why do we need another one? Then receiving an attack, he does get 150 defense. Then when there's an ally who is a Entrusted Will or Android / Soul Saga category ally on the team, all allies key +1, 50% attack and defense. One thing I will say, the potential of all the dodge build up, great. You can build up a lot of it. I don't like that this is a chance of an additional normal and then a chance of an additional super. This, I feel like, should have been guaranteed, especially with this. If this was guaranteed, then a chance of a super attack, you can leave that the same. Other than that, the support's good, but in base, I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't look good at all. And I'm kind of regretting picking him up with coins. Like, he doesn't have enough stats to be fine without guard or damage reduction. He can build up a lot of dodge, yes, but in quite a few fights, there are locking, AoE, or disable of dodge, which some fights have 2 of the 3, which is incredibly dangerous for this Trunks. I know he can transform, and we haven't seen those details yet, but in base, he looks incredibly vulnerable in at least 50% of the difficult fights right now in Dokkan. Because majority of enemies do have AoEs. So all of this is kind of irrelevant because you'll only have 50% chance to dodge, and then whatever you have in the potential system or skill orbs to help him before he actually attacks and super attacks. Anything after that, great, because you can build up a ton of dodge, which is fantastic. But then he just doesn't have a lot of stats to kind of go with just pure dodge. But as I said, the support and the potential of the amount of dodge you can get is quite nice. I really hope the Super Saiyan part is a lot better. On Super Attack, he does greatly raise attack and defense by 50% for 1 turn as well. And then we have him in Super Saiyan Dokkan. You have a lot of work to do on this Trunks right now. A lot of work. Damn, have we got a whole book? I think we've got a whole book for Trunks right now. Jesus Christ. How long is this passive? Actually, no, I think some of this is the same. Yeah, this is literally identical. Or some of it is identical. Anyway, let's go through this. So, basic effects. Key +2, 200% attack and defense, 70% chance to crit. Launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance to become a super. Then has a 70% chance of launching an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. It's nice that the chance is increased, but why am I trying to work to get a chance of additional that then has another chance to become a super attack? Again, I feel like I'm relying on too much RNG when it comes to this Trunks. He is already a dodge or die unit in a not so much dodge or die meta. That was enough. Changes key spheres of Fizz to AGL, 50% chance to dodge. They don't even buff this up. At least give him a base of 70. 70% chance of stunning attacked enemy for 2 turns where you can utilize it. With an AGL key sphere obtained, it launches in a guaranteed additional super. With the type key sphere obtained, AGL excluded. 70% chance of launching an additional attack. There's a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. Again, with the chance of an additional normal, with another chance of additional super. And just to make it worse, we've got a second one. You then have a 50% chance of launching an additional attack that then has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. Why do we need so much RNG on additional supers with this Trunks? It's not that there aren't units in this game that exist that have like 5, 6, 7 super attacks and like 2 of them are guaranteed, is it? Then when attacking with 12 or more key, 200% attack and defense, performs a guaranteed crit. Then for every attack performed, chance to evade enemy's attack by 5% within your turn. And then the exact same thing for super attack. So this stayed the same as well. So not only did the base dodge chance stay the same, which I feel like this should have been upped, especially because this wasn't changed, but we also kept this the same amount as well. It's just not enough. Like, again, the potential of the amount of dodge chance Trunks can get, especially, even though I just hate the way this is done, with all of these chances of additional normals and supers, you can build up a lot of dodge. But when you're facing enemies that lock and that have AoEs, and Trunks is going to attack after he gets AoE'd, he's far too vulnerable. And then he gets 200% defense when receiving an attack. It's just not... It's not enough. Unless we're going to see a change in meta very, very soon, and we're going to get a brand new difficult event where there's no AoEs and dodge characters are thriving and like the go-to in the game. I mean, they never stop being like a go-to, but there's no AoEs, there's no lock-in, then fine. But if we're not, which I highly doubt considering we just got Diamond Edition of Red Zone, we've only just got stage 3 of that like not even a week ago. Where do you use this Trunks? Is what I want to know. Where do you use this Trunks? Also, Dokkan, what's going on with this? Why is this kind of put here twice? I don't understand what happened here. I mean, does he also keep... I guess he also keeps the support as well. Yes, because this has changed. When there is another entrusted will or android / soul cycle category on the team, all allies key +2 and 60% attack and defense. I mean, again, the support is very nice. The fact that that increases, great. The fact he gets more stats is good. I still don't think it's enough. Again, the potential on the amount of dodge Trunks can get is fantastic. Although, because the majority of enemies AoE, lock, and cancel dodge, Trunks has nowhere to be used. Now, I know not every single one of those does all of them, but majority of them do have AoEs, and then the ones that don't cancel dodge. So either way, Trunks is essentially fucked. Where do you run him? Also, he doesn't have that many great teams at the moment, or a full 200 lead, which is why I still expect the next LR to be a lead that helps out Trunks. Maybe it'll be an entrusted will lead, we'll see. Or a super Android / Cell Saga lead. But from what I'm seeing, I don't even want to use this Trunks. Because why am I relying on so much RNG just to get additional normals? Like, I know he builds up dodge through normals and super attacks, but still, there are so much RNG for just an additional normal. Yes, you're building up dodge, but how many do we have? We have 1 here. We have 2 here, 3 here. Like, what? And then on super attack, greatly raises attack and defense by 50% for 4 turns, causes immense damage to the enemy. See, that's a good SA effect as well. But I think overall, this kit, this Trunks EZA just relies on too much RNG. As I said, the potential is there, support is great. But then also, most of the enemies in the game just counter Trunks. They lock. Trunks only has 50% chance to dodge. It's not good enough. Not only that, there's AoEs. If it's before Trunks gets to attack, you literally only have 50% dodge to rely on. I feel like they should have upped his dodge chance when he transformed. I know, again, he builds up a lot, but then you could just remove some of the additionals. There could be something to counteract it, something to balance it. And not only that, there's also enemies that have both. You know, you have enemies like Tamagami who seals. You have, you know, his AoEs. You have enemies that lock and AoE like Rose and Zamasu. Too much of the difficult content in the game right now just goes against Trunks. It counters Trunks. And he's just too vulnerable in most of the difficult content in the game. So I'm going to say this Trunks EZA is a massive, massive miss. I kind of wish I didn't pick him up with coins. I should have waited to see his details first, but I put content first. It is what it is. We're still going to try him out when he drops, but yeah, this EZA, this ain't it, Dokkan. This ain't it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Maybe I'm being too negative. You can let me know your thoughts down below. But I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day. And post.